that noise though. Hey guys, it's Mimi1239 here, and I am here and and I'm here to give you guys my girl meets, what's this episode called? The Real World. And I'm here to give you guys my girl meets the Real World review video. Let's do this thing. So at first, I was not expecting that the results of this episode were gonna be good. I liked it. A bit predictable, I will say, because I did guess what the reason for why people are evil is, but I still liked it because it's true, it's correct. Let's get into this and I'll explain how I know, why I know the answer, yes. Let's first start off with a recap of the episode. So the episode starts off with a debate with Farkle and Riley, which was very interesting. I love when Farkle was, talking all sciencey and Smackle was getting turned on a Disney show, which is kind of weird, but it was really good. Corey is making Farkle and Riley argue against each other on the topic of something about the sun, right? Does the sun rise? Or wait, let me see that again, because I don't remember and I want to see the part where Smarkle happens. That's just my excuse. The sun rises during the day. The sun rises during the day. So Riley and Farkle are arguing, well, Riley's arguing for this statement and Farkle is arguing against this statement. So what Riley is saying is, yeah, opens the curtains of the classroom, there's the sun, therefore the sun is out. And Farkle is saying that the sun is also out during the night, but it doesn't mean that it is shining towards us, because in some other areas it may be daytime, while in other areas it's nighttime. So that's Farkle's argument. Corey says Farkle wins the debate, obviously, and then what he makes them do is switch sides. So Farkle will argue for this statement and Riley will argue against this statement. Farkle wins the argument again, he wins the debate, and Riley, it gets Riley confused because she's like, okay, so what do you actually believe, Farkle? Do you actually believe the sun rises during the day, or do you believe that it doesn't? Like what do you believe, right? So then Corey states that it is important for one to be able to argue for both sides so that you know what you're up against when you are in a debate, and that's basically how you should prepare for a debate. You should know what your opponent is going to argue and what are like their facts and what are they going to use, right? So that's debate talk and debate things, right? So then now Riley has to argue against good. She has to argue for evil, and the rest of the class has to argue for good. And this really upsets Riley because she doesn't want to do it because she does believe in good. She doesn't believe in bad. Meanwhile, everybody else, obviously, they know about bad and good. So this is why the episode is called Girl Meets the Real World. So then everybody leaves because they just want to get out of there and Riley's about to explode, basically. Maya gets the printer and she steals the printer. Like, what? But then they're at the bay window and Maya's trying to show Riley evil stuff, like news and stuff, and Riley doesn't want to see it because she's like, no, I don't want to see it. This thing doesn't exist. Evil is non-existent to me and I don't want to see anything horrible. And then I like the part where Riley's like, can I have a lollipop? And it's a red lollipop and like all the lollipops are red. It was kind of funny, but I like red lollipops. Okay, in the end of that scene, Augie comes in. Riley tells Augie about how there's trash on the beach. People cannot walk through beaches anymore because there's garbage and everything, and people get hurt if they're walking barefoot on a beach. So this kind of wakes up Augie to go to the beach with Topanga, and they decide to pick up the trash on the beach, like litter and stuff like that. So that's their contribution to the world, and what Riley decides to do is look at more stuff that has to do with the evilness in the world, and she turns to Maya's like, what is this? Where is this? Where is this all happening in? And Maya's like, well, this is our world, right? So this is the first time that Riley's hearing about all the bad stuff that happens in the world, like the news, the media, blah blah blah. And it's interesting to see this as Riley's world, right? Because in Rowan's world, we know Rowan as an activist, feminism, and she's extremely different than Riley because Rowan is aware of all the evilness obviously in the world. She talked about, how she was catcalled at age 12. She talked about feminism. She talked about being unapologetically herself. She talked about cyberbullying. She's talked about all this stuff, and this is just 14 years old, right? So it's very, very different than her character, the character that she plays. But now Riley's sort of kind of turning into, like, not saying that Rowan is evil or that she's bad or that, no, she's actually doing right by, you know, informing herself, I guess. And how do I explain this? Good versus evil. There's a good side and a bad side to everybody. And as I said many times before, you guys may not know that, but I always imagine ourselves as like a rainbow. So we all make mistakes, and there's evilness and there's goodness in every single person. And just because one person may be more evil than good, you know, doesn't mean there's not good in them, right? It just depends on which side you take. The other side. That's what the episode was going to be called. Anyway, Riley, she wants to do bad now. So what she decides to do is eat Zay's cookie. Well, at first she wanted to exclude Maya from the group, and that was like, oh, blah, blah, blah. They talked about the Riley committee, which I'm glad they did, because in previous episodes like Pluto, they did bring up, I think, the Riley committee because Lucas was confused about it, which is the committee which excludes Riley from the evilness of the world. They shield her from things that could upset her, right? So that's the Riley committee. Riley finally learns about the committee. She decides to eat Zay's cookie, his last cookie from his grandmother, right? Yeah? Okay. She's like, it was okay. And then she realizes that a part of her actually liked being evil or doing something bad, you know? And that to her is not good, but she's like, I'm confused and I don't know what to do. So then Maya starts to tell her, well, you have two sides in you. Which side are you gonna be? Which side are you gonna listen to? Then she starts eating with her hands, and Corey's like, what are you doing? And I like when Maya asks her, like, are you preparing just for the debate, right? This is just your preparation for the debate, right? And Riley's like, yeah, and for life as well, because like she wants to prepare for life. She wants to be evil, I guess. And they did talk about that guy. I don't remember his name, but I think he's a homeless guy. I'm just gonna go with that. And how he always asks Riley for $1. It's to buy new shoes. But then Riley realizes that the man may not be asking her money to buy new shoes. He may be asking her money for something else. We don't know, you know, which wouldn't really be touched upon in this show or, you know, Disney overall. But they leave it to our imagination on what he could be spending the money on, you know? And I remember this happening to my teacher, actually. I'm just gonna tell a short story, okay? When I was in grade 6, I had a teacher. We were going to church, and the church was a good 10 minutes, 15 minutes walking distance from the school that I went to. I remember we were on the streets walking to the church, and this homeless guy asked my teacher, can I have some money? And she gave him, I think, $5. Us as students, we were like, miss, what are you doing? You know, he's not gonna use it to buy food or do anything useful with it, so why are you giving him money? And she's like, well, I'm giving him money because he needs the money and he will use it as he wishes. I believe he will use it for something useful, and if he doesn't, that's his problem. That's what she said. As long as she's doing her deed, that's what's important to her. And now, how long has it been? 6-7 years later, and here I am talking about this exact same situation. I love Riley, and I love how optimistic she is. Sometimes she could be a bit oblivious and naive, but doing charity work is good. That's the important thing. The act, the intention of doing good is important, and it is correct, and it is right. So then Augie comes back from his day at the beach picking up garbage with Topanga, and Riley's like, why did you do that? You know that's not gonna help anything, right? Corey and Topanga are like, what are you saying, Riley? Don't bring down this boy's hopes. Topanga tells Augie a story about a starfish, because starfish, I think they flop in the sand. If they are not in water, then they will die. So a little boy picked up the starfish and threw it in the water, and even though there were like hundreds and hundreds of starfishes everywhere on the beach, he picked up one and threw it in, and there was a man that said, why did you do that? You know that's not gonna help anything. But the starfish at least helped, the boy at least helped that starfish, which is a difference. We can make a difference. So then it lifts up Augie's hopes again. It makes Riley realize something as well. First of all, that Augie was right and he did do good by going to the beach. Even though he only picked up garbage from a small area, it is a contribution, it is help, it is good. They're back in the classroom, and everybody else in the classroom is on one side of the debate, and Riley's on the other side. She's on the evil side, everybody else is on the good side. Riley argues that everything in the news and everything that's evil makes this world world evil, so that means we are evil as well, and that makes her win the debate, and she didn't want to win the debate, but she does, and that is, to her, is very shocking. And then Corey makes her argue for the other side, which is good, and so she argues for the other side, and then Corey starts talking about voices. Hello. Then Corey starts talking about voices, so the voices in our heads. Alright, so Riley has a bad side to her. She calls it sassy halter top, and I don't remember what Maya calls her bad side. It's kind of like the whole thing with the potato, remember? The tots. Or the potato. I don't know what's the difference. What was that episode called? The Telltale Tots. And about conscience. Conscience? Yes. And she has a tot on her shoulder that's telling her to do what's right, to not lie and stuff like that. So that's her conscience, which is a tot. And she also has a sassy halter top on the other side, which is her evil side, I guess. Corey says we all have two sides, at least. I mean, we all have our good and we all have our evil, and it's important who you listen to, and that's the person you will become. Just because you do evil stuff sometimes does not make you entirely evil. Like my sister. Just because you make mistakes sometimes does not make you entirely evil. So listen to your good side. That's what the episode is telling us, basically. So now I'm going to explain why I know about the voices thing, and I already knew about it, and I didn't even have to read the spoiler just to know. I already guessed it. So the reason why I know about voices, the voices in our head, is because of the song called Voices by Superwoman. She came out with that song a couple weeks ago, and it is exactly what the episode talks about. It is about the voices in our heads. She has a lot of voices in her head, and she basically took, not every single voice, but she took 5 voices from her head and she made it into a full 10-minute music video. So the metaphor here is a house, right? We all have houses. In each house we have different rooms. We have our obnoxious room, we have our self-aware room, we have our I don't care room, we have our sexy room, we have all these rooms. Josh, you're so creepy. We have all these rooms, they live inside us. All these voices live inside us like rooms do. It's not about not addressing your voices. It's not about just like shutting away the voices in your head. It's about befriending them. It's about giving them a microphone. Sometimes, if you know who you are, if you know what goes on inside your head, don't be ashamed of what you think, and just address it, befriend them, and then if you choose to listen to them, to the good voices, then that is okay. You have bad voices, we all do. I will admit, I have my bad voices. Only you can decide which voices you choose to listen to. And that's what the song is about. I'll leave the song in the description if you haven't checked it out. I like this episode. I will have to see what people think about it. I don't know. But these are the points that I'm bringing up to topic. So let me know what you guys think. I think that's the end of my recap as well. Oh, well, so Zay forgives Riley for eating his cookie. They hug and she's about to sing him a cookie song. And she does. I love it. What else happens at the end? The man that said he wanted to buy new shoes, he makes Riley give him the $2 that he was given the day before. And the reason why he wanted Riley to give him the $2 is because he wanted to see her eyes bright, giving him $2 to buy new shoes. And that was so sweet, and I loved it. And he's like, I'm just trying to be a better person. Riley's like, so am I. And Maya says, so am I. And they go inside Topanga's room. Topanga's coffee house. I don't know what to call that room or to call that place. But yeah, so that's how the episode ends. This is really long, way too long, and all because of my sister. But let me know what you guys think of this episode. I thought it was a good episode. It would have been nice if this episode was called Girl Meets Voices, because, you know, voices. But overall, I think it was good. I think it was interesting that they addressed this, and it's called The Real World. There's something here. I liked it. Surprisingly, I didn't know if I was gonna like it, but the whole Riley secret thing, it was that she liked being evil, but that's the voice controlling her, right? So let me know what you guys think and comment down below. What was your favorite part of this episode? Let me know. I give this episode I guess I'd give it like a 9 or a 9.5 out of 10. I liked it. That's it. and that's the end of this video, guys. Thank you guys for watching. Like this video if you enjoyed it. Subscribe to my channel if you want. The subscription button is right over there. All my social media accounts are right over here. Follow me especially on Twitter because that's where I keep in contact with you guys. My latest video, which is my Girl Meets Sassy Halter Top. reaction video is right over here. My girl meets the real world, same episode. Promo reaction is right over here, and my girl meets the real world predictions video is right over here. And yeah, I love you guys so much. Thank you guys for always watching. Mwah. I hope you guys are having a really nice day or night or whatever time you guys are watching this. And remember guys, there is no end to your horizon, and I'll see you guys soon. Bye. That was not good. Bye. Yes, we do.